Napoleon Hill's 1937 Manual for Wealth is either a timeless blueprint or a dangerous trap for the modern entrepreneur. Every year, millions blindly follow the advice and think and grow rich, yet the economic landscape of 2026 bears zero resemblance to the Great Depression. By deconstructing the specific psychological mechanisms Hill pioneered, we can finally strip away the outdated dogma to isolate the exact high leverage principles that still print money in today's volatile market. Its core principles to the modern digital landscape. Grab a glass of water, get comfortable, and let us dissect the facts together. The year is 1933. Napoleon Hill has spent over 2 decades interviewing the most successful individuals in the world, from Andrew Carnegie to Henry Ford, trying to distill the essence of human achievement into a single philosophy. He believed he had discovered a universal law of success, a blueprint that, when followed, would lead to immense wealth and influence. But we live in an era of artificial intelligence, global connectivity, and gig economies. Does a book written during the Great Depression truly hold the answers for a 20-something freelancer building a brand on social media today? Let us find out. The first concept to examine is the idea of a definite chief aim. In the book, Hill argues that you must have a clear, precise, and written down goal to achieve anything of significance. Now, this might sound like standard corporate advice, but the proof is in the execution. Think about a study conducted by the Dominican University of California, where researchers followed over 200 participants. Those who wrote down their goals were 42% more likely to achieve them than those who did not. That is a staggering gap for a simple, low-effort action. In 2026, we are flooded with notifications, endless feeds, and constant distractions. When you do not have a written aim, you are essentially a leaf blowing in the wind of the internet algorithm. By writing down your goal, you are creating a digital anchor for your brain. It is not just about the goal itself. It is about the cognitive shift that happens when you commit your intentions to paper or a digital document. You are essentially telling your subconscious mind to prioritize the tasks that move the needle toward that specific outcome. If you start doing this today, you will immediately notice that your decision making becomes faster and more focused. You stop asking, should I do this? And start asking, does this activity move me toward my written goal? That is the easy win. But if that is all the book offered, it would be just another self-help volume gathering dust on your shelf. There is something much deeper happening here, and it relates to how you build your environment for success. This brings us to the concept of the Mastermind group. Hill defined this as the coordination of knowledge and effort between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. In the 1930s, this meant literal face-to-face meetings in mahogany-paneled boardrooms. But look at the modern landscape. You have creators on platforms like Discord, Slack, and private Telegram channels who are building empires with people they have never met in person. Take the story of a small group of app developers who formed an online mastermind in early 2024. They were all struggling to reach $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue. By meeting every Tuesday night over video call to share their analytics, test results, and marketing strategies, 4 out of the 5 reached their goal within 6 months. They leveraged their collective experience to avoid the pitfalls that each individual was facing. A study from the Stanford Graduate School of Business found that mentorship and peer learning significantly increased the speed of professional growth. It is the concept of compounding interest applied to human capital. You are literally borrowing the success of others to accelerate your own. If you are trying to do everything alone, you are playing the game on the hardest difficulty setting. So, how do you find your mastermind in 2026? You do not need to hunt for billionaires. You just need to find 3 people who are currently where you want to be or are working just as hard as you are toward a similar end. If you are finding this breakdown useful so far, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I produce these deep dives every single week to help you cut through the noise of modern productivity advice. And sticking around is a good idea because the third concept I want to show you is the one that actually keeps people hooked on this book for decades. It is the one that most people misinterpret entirely. Are you ready? This is the concept of autosuggestion. Now, before you roll your eyes, hear me out. We are not talking about manifesting in the way social media gurus talk about it. We are talking about the science of habit formation and neuroplasticity. Think about your internal narrative. Every time you say, I am not good at sales, or I am just a slow writer, you are reinforcing neural pathways that make those statements your reality. This is essentially negative autosuggestion. You are programming your own limitations. The strategy here, which was popularized by Hill, is the daily practice of feeding your mind positive, specific directives that contradict your limiting beliefs. A study published in the Journal of Psychological Science found that self-affirmations can significantly mitigate the effects of stress and increase performance under pressure. It is not magic. It is about priming your brain to look for opportunities instead of threats. Let me give you a specific example of how this looks in 2026. Instead of saying, I hope I get more clients this month, which is passive, you write, I am currently attracting 3 high quality leads per week by consistently providing value on my platform. When you repeat that to yourself, your brain starts to notice the people who need your help. It tunes your focus. You start creating content that actually resonates with your target audience because your subconscious is now looking for their pain points. It works better than the first 2 methods combined. Why? Because the first 2 are external, writing goals and finding a group. But this is internal. If your internal programming is set to fail, no amount of external planning will save you. But when you align your internal narrative with your external efforts, your output changes completely. Once you see it this way, you cannot unsee it. Everything in your life becomes a reflection of the directives you have given yourself. Think about the most successful people you know. They do not just luck into their positions. They have relentlessly programmed their minds to expect success, even when the data suggests otherwise. This is how you reclaim your agency in a world that tries to program you with ads, negativity, and short-term dopamine loops. You choose the message, you choose the goal, and you choose the people you listen to. Napoleon Hill was not a prophet, and his book is not a holy text. It is a manual for human psychology that happened to be written long before we understood the neuroscience behind it. In 2026, we have the tools to validate his theories with hard data, and the results are consistently positive. So, if you pick it up, do not read it like a history book. Read it like a technical manual for your own brain. There you have it. 3 ways to apply the lessons of Think and Grow Rich in the modern world: the definite aim, the mastermind group, and the power of controlled autosuggestion. The last one alone, when applied daily, can change your entire professional trajectory by altering how you react to your own inner monologue. If you got real value from this video, please share it with a friend who needs a fresh perspective on their goals, and subscribe so you do not miss the next deep dive into the strategies of high performance. Next week, we are looking at how to optimize your sleep for deep work using the latest wearable data. It is a total game changer for anyone working in a high-intensity field. Until next time, take control of the input, and you will control the output. It is that simple, but it is not always easy. Start small, stay consistent, and I will see you in the next one.